non-Muslim, in particular, a Christian, a human being. The ethnicity or the nationality, it doesn't really matter. But an individual, a person who at that particular time did not know exactly, could not answer for myself, what is the... Hey, welcome back. Welcome back to Learn with Nia show. I got my drink. Oat milk. Not cow milk, not almond milk, not rice milk, oat milk. You know how when you have your oatmeal in the morning for breakfast? Oat milk. I just drank some water. Probably you saw me standing there. I was drinking water. I need to burp. It's coming. It's gonna come. How are you? Welcome to the stream. Usually when I eat or when I drink, I burp twice and that's it. It's refreshing. You should try oat milk. I used to drink a lot of almond milk as well. But the doctors say I'm allergic to nuts, so I have to be careful. I have my scarf over my bosom because I'm wearing a tank and I don't feel like going to get fancy dressed. So I'm just wearing this over so you don't see too much of my skin. All right, let's listen to amazing Khalid Yasin. I learned so much from him over 20 years ago when I came to this country. I came in 2000, but I started studying more about Islam thanks to his lectures. Amazing. Super knowledgeable on life in general, the purpose of life, on religious topics. Okay, let's listen. Purpose of life. I'll be right back. Now I realize that in order for me to deliver this information to you, it will take some of your precious, critical time. And no one has even a minute of life to waste. So with that note, I would request you, all of you, to think of what I'm saying to you as information and advice. Now, this information may seem to be somewhat extensive, but when you consider the capacity of the human brain, the amount of information that it can store, the amount of information that it is able to process my phone and decipher. I am back. Then I don't think that the information that I'm going to share with you tonight will necessarily overburden you. Now, it is my responsibility to address the topic, what is the purpose of our life? And also to ask you the question, what do you know about Islam? I mean, what do you really know about Islam? Not what you read in the newspapers, not what you saw on television that was prepared for you. Exactly, not what you... Not the preconditioned information that came from people who had their own prejudices and their own limited views. What do you really know about Islam? He said, what do you know about Islam? Not what you've been programmed to think Islam is, not what you heard on the news, not what you read on the computer, not what you heard from next door neighbor. No, what do you know, you yourself, through your studying, through your reading the Quran, through going through the authentic books of narration regarding what the Prophet said, what he allowed, what he did, what his companions saw him do. What do you truly know about Islam? No, about
other people telling you this is Islam. Super critical thinking. And once you know it, you cannot unknow it anymore. Once you see it for yourself, you cannot unsee it. Meaning, when you truly study what the Quran explains is worship of God, is submission to the Creator, who the prophets of God were, the message, universal message, one that they brought, what they were sent with by God. There is only one God. Worship Him alone, no ascribing any partners, any helpers, any associates, any assistant. He has no son, no daughters. His angels, His creation, the human beings, the devils, the jinns, the demons, the animals, the planets, the universe, the galaxy, the nebulas, all are His creation. That's why He's called the Creator, you know? Once you realize that this is what Islam is teaching, and Islam means submission to God, to obey God, to listen to God, to follow His instructions so you can live your best life. It's mind-blowing, the perspective that you have, the different outlook you have on this life, this universe, knowing there's another burp trying to come, knowing that you live here, but then you're going to have another life after you leave this planet. You're going to be inside the grave. It's going to be a dimension called Barzakh. It's going to be a barrier between this life and the other life. And then once we are resurrected, all of us, we're going to stand for 50,000 years before God decides and chooses, okay, the day of judgment has begun. Let's judge every single one of them. And God doesn't need anybody to tell him what to do. We don't question God. And when you're truly a believer, this is what really differentiate the true believers and those so-called believers, people that are hypocrite, people that are faking, they're saying they are this, but they are not. It's the fact that if you truly say that God is your creator, He's your maker, He's your fashioner, He's your boss, whatever He tells you, this is good for you, you do it without questioning, then you see the people that are really truthful and those that are not. And God already know our heart, what we conceal, what we reveal, what we hide, what we say, and what we do, what we even think. God already know because He has created us. He's a creator, so why wouldn't He know? And it's amazing, it's very fascinating once you start reading and you do your own research. You sit down with the Bible, with other scriptures, with the Quran, and you compare and you start thinking and pondering and really reflecting. And you realize there's no way that there's no other thing after here, that after our death. It has to be, because otherwise it's in vain why God would create a creation to live, to go to work, make a living, earn some money, sleep, eat, poop, and go have party, and that's it. The dead, nothing else. Of course not. God is not somebody who creates in vain. Everything He does has a reason, has a purpose, and He's the most judge, the most merciful. So everything that happens in your life, it's by the permission of God, by the mercy of God, and it's for a good reason. And there's always blessings, even the one that we call blessings in disguise, meaning you can be suffering, you can be going through hardship and different calamities, one thing after another. And then you're wondering, well, why me? Why me? Why not you? You told God that you can do it, that you can carry the burdens, that you can worship Him, and that you accept, that you agree that He's your Lord, He's your creator, He's your boss. So you're going to listen to Him, just like when you go to work, you listen to your boss and you do whatever your boss tells you to do without complaining, right? Because you're waiting for that paycheck on Friday, right? Tomorrow is Friday, by the way. But no, but seriously, you have to really think, because once we die, it will be too late. So you do it now while you can. And this is why I created this channel, to help you think. I want to educate you. I want to help you to elevate your mind so you can think, you can empower yourself, you can rise and shine your light bright out there. Be a blessing to someone. I'm always repeating the same thing. Be a blessing to other people. Keep counting your blessings. Write down your goals. Go out there and do something with your life. Be productive. Don't waste your life. There's so many people, they're wasting their precious life, and they keep forgetting that one day God's going to ask them, what did you do with the life that I gave you? What did you do with that? You see that when you are a parent and you teach your children, from right and from wrong. And you want them to succeed. You want them to be the best version of themselves. You also set rules. You set different regulations, and you remind your child, do this in order for this. Don't do that in order not to have this particular outcome and result or consequence. It's the same. We have duties, we have responsibilities. Uh-oh, something was about to fall. I'm in another republic. That's my Notary Republic stamp inside that bag. It was about to fall. So yes, the same way we as parents, for those who are parents here watching my content on my channel, we have children and we take care of them. They are our responsibilities until a certain point in their life. At certain time, they have to also do their own things. They have responsibilities. And remember, we are accountable for our actions and our decisions, the choices that we make. So once your child is of age, he has reached or she has reached puberty, that's it. You're no longer responsible. You have done your job. You have taught them right from wrong. You will still be there for them. Of course, you love them, but you have to let them go and let them be their own individual, have them have their own lives. You're not supposed to baby a grown-up person, because what happens is that you start creating something else, which is usually a narcissist, because they feel entitled, they're lazy, they're always complaining, they're always criticizing, and everything that you do is never enough. So be very careful, okay, parents out there. All right, the purpose of life. Let's listen to Khalid Yasin. Thank you for being here and watching.
But what do you really know about Islam? What facts do you really have about Islam and Muslims? Not necessarily even what have you seen in the action of some Muslims whom you may know.
Thank you so much for being here.
For that may not be an accurate reference either.
Thank you.
As I mentioned, I'm extremely honored to have this opportunity to be here in Sydney, Australia, in the land down under, if that's what you call it. And I would like to begin by saying that all of you have an equal responsibility with myself. And the responsibility that you have is to listen with an open heart and an open mind.
I'm doing something on my phone.
Now, in a world filled with prejudice and cultural conditioning,
I'm checking to make sure.
it is extremely hard to find people that are willing to be objective for a moment.
That we are live. Yes, we are.
And put aside their preconditioning.
Okay. Audio is good.
And to think for a moment, if you dare,
thank you.
what is the purpose of your life?
Oh, I have to pray. Oh, gosh.
Now, what I mean by open heart and open mind is very simple.
I have to pray. My night prayer.
And you can try this when you get home. It's no tricks to it.
I'll be back.
Turn the glass upside down and see if you can pour yourself a glass of water.
You can't.
You can pour all day. You'll never fill the glass.
So true. I'm going to pray my night prayer. It takes about 5-7 minutes.
The mind and the heart are receptacles for information and values. Minimally, you have to listen in order to receive it. And you have to remove for a moment the obstructions. Unfortunately, when you ask most people the question, what is the purpose of life? Such an important question, such a critical question. They will not tell you what they have concluded from life experience. They won't tell you what they have obtained through reasoning or logic. They won't tell you what they have from their own self-conviction. Usually, if you ask this question, they'll tell you what someone else said. Or they'll tell you what is commonly presumed by most people. What my father said the purpose of life is, what my mother said the purpose of life is, what the minister of my church said the purpose of life is, what my teacher or my professor in school said what the purpose of life is, what my friend said. If I ask anyone about the purpose of eating, why do we eat? Everyone will say in one way or another, we eat for nutrition. Very simple. If I ask anybody, why do they work? They say, I work because I have to support myself and my family in an honorable way. A simple answer to a simple question. If we ask a series of questions like that, why do we wash? Why do we dress? They will answer all of these questions by saying, this is very simple. This is a common necessity for all human beings. And if you ask this question to 100 people in 100 different places in the world, you will get just about the same answers. Then I ask you to ask yourself, why is it that when we ask the simple question, what is the purpose of our lives? Why do we get so many different answers? It is because people haven't really thought about it. It's too frightening. Not the question itself is frightening, but what's frightening is that if we answer it clearly, it may change our lives indelibly, and we are afraid of change. The human being innately is afraid and apprehensive of change. This is why it's so easy just to follow, to imitate blindly, because then you don't have to feel like you're responsible. You can blame somebody else. Well, think about it tonight. Is our purpose in this world simply to eat and sleep and dress and work and acquire some material things and enjoy ourselves? Well, the hedonists, they will tell you, that is the pleasure seekers, the worldly people who only want to enjoy themselves, who are only concerned about taste and touch and feel and smell and have and possess. Those people who think they have the world in their hands or that the world is in a cup of brandy, they will tell you that life is only for enjoyment, so enjoy all that you can. Is this our purpose? Why are we born? What is the object of our existence? And what is the wisdom behind the creation of man and this tremendous universe? Think about that question. Think about it seriously. Now, some people will argue that there's simply no proof of any divine origin of this world. And there's no proof that there's a God. And there's no proof that this universe has come about through any divine purpose. There are those who argue that. And some of them, they occupy some of the higher places in academia, in government. Some of them occupy some of the elite positions in society and in our lives. Some of them are called central personalities. but they themselves are confused. They also have their own frustrations. And I'd like to share a statistic with you. The greatest amount of misery, the greatest amount of suicide, the greatest amount of confusion and disparagement exists among that class of people. So evidently, even they don't have the answers. Now, there are people who argue this way, and they say that perhaps this world came about by chance. That means random. That's what chance means, random. Like going to the gambling house. You call it here the gaming rooms. They have a nice name for it here. It's a place of immorality. It's a place where you put your life savings on the line. You're trying to get something for nothing. You put your hard-earned money. Sometimes the man doesn't tell his wife, or the wife doesn't tell her husband, and they lose their house and their lives, taking a chance, trying to earn something for nothing. And the government has set it up and supported it with your tax dollars. And you're so foolish that you think that after you gamble for 5 years and you've lost $50,000 or $60,000, that if you win $25,000, you get real happy. So thinking that this world came about by chance is the same as thinking that when you put money in a slot machine, that the numbers come up by chance. They don't. Everybody knows that the casinos are rigged and only the house wins all the time. But to think that this world came about in the same way that people gamble, random choice, well, let's put that to a test. This is an example that you can do in your home with your children. Take 10 marbles, number them 1 to 10, and put them inside of a bag and shake the bag. And then close your eyes without looking inside that bag. Pull out number 1, pull out marble number 2, pull out marble number 3, in that order. Just 10 marbles, that's all. 5, 10. What do you think the chances are pulling out those 10 marbles in that order without looking at them? Is anybody here that's a mathematic genius, knows about calculus, knows the random chance? Does anybody know the chance? 26 million to 1. That's only 10 marbles. That's called a micro example. Now let's go a little bit further out to a macro example. The Earth that we are on is one planet among 9, or some people say 11, in our solar system, isn't it? And our sun that gives energy and light and gravity is the center of our solar system. And our sun is only one star, and it happens to be one of the smaller stars in our galaxy called the Milky Way. And the Milky Way is only one of the smaller galaxies in the nebula called the Andromeda. And the Andromeda has itself millions of galaxies like the one that our sun is a part of. And there are millions, or literally countless galaxies, clusters of galaxies like the Andromeda, that have been predicted by sending out sound and light. And they have sent out sound and light that has never returned. Now, all of this diverse order that we see in the heavens, that we are able to somewhat calculate and predict, that we call night and day, time, all of this is in order that allows us to calculate. Tell me, if you can't pull out 10 marbles in order, how did all of this come in order? Evidently, man didn't do it because man is only a drop of water on the earth, significantly nothing. You can't even see him if you get a certain distance. He's forgotten about. So I say to you, certainly, this whole great world with all of its great orchestration could not have just come together. And even if we accept the Big Bang Theory, someone had to create that combustion. Because after the bang came about, everything came in order. So order does not come from disorder. You can't get out of your bed in the morning and don't make your bed and come back and your bed is made unless you got a maid. You can't demolish a house and come back and the house came back together unless you got a reconstruction crew. Order doesn't come from disorder. Order comes from an order. An order means a legislation. It means a science. It means a fact. It means a determination. And if man wasn't around when that Big Bang took place, he had nothing to do with that determination or anything after it. Here I would like to mention a few verses of the Quran that address this subject, because the Quran was revealed more than 1,400 years ago, a book of 6,626 verses that has been retained and memorized, preserved since the time that it was revealed more than 1,424 years ago. Memorized in the time of the Prophet, peace and blessing be upon him, who received it in his own life, memorized by his companions, and the same Quran is with us today. And among the people sitting here, I'm sure there are 5 or 10 people who have memorized the entire Quran. This is the phenomena. If Muhammad, peace and blessing be upon him, never left anything else as a proof of his miracle and his prophethood to the world, it would be the Quran. I asked my brother to recite just a few verses and then I'll translate it.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن في خلق السماوات والأرض واختلاف الليل والنهار لآيات لأولي الألباب الذين يذكرون الله قياما وقعودا وعلى جنوبهم ويتفكرون في خلق السماوات والأرض ربنا ما خلقت هذا باطلا سبحانك فقنا عذاب النار.
I will only translate 2 or 3 of those verses because this is enough to address this issue that I'm speaking to. This verse says, إن في خلق السماوات والأرض واختلاف الليل والنهار. The Quran says, verily, in the creation of the heavens and the earth, and in the alternation of the night and the day, surely this itself is a sign for those who reflect. Those who reflect on the creation of the heavens and the earth, on their creator, while they are standing, while they are sitting,
I'm back.
while they are lying down on their sides,
Thank you so much.
always they are reflecting on the
I was
signs
brushing my teeth as well.
of the heavens and the earth.
Yes, so I was hearing from the bathroom when I was brushing my teeth and doing ablution. Ablution is when we wash our hands, our face, our arms, and we get ready for prayer. Because when you're meeting someone, let's say you go to a job interview, or you go have a date with somebody, a nice, beautiful lady or handsome gentleman, you want to look your best, you want to look presentable, you want to smell good, have nice, clean clothes, not wrinkled. So it's the same when you're meeting your Lord, meaning when we pray as Muslims, we have to be ready for this great meeting with God, our Lord. So we smell good, we wear nice, clean clothes, and we are clean, and we don't smell onion or garlic. We brush our teeth and we get ready to pray so we can talk to God, ask Him anything and everything we need and want in this life. So, yes. Khalid Yasin, the purpose of life. Thank you so much for being here, guys. I posted early on the. Where did I put my other phone? Yeah, I posted on the comment section. Yes, let's have a conversation. If you have some questions for me, please don't hesitate. There's no taboo subject with me. I'm 52. I'm a grown woman. We're all adults here, hopefully, so you can ask me anything. Oh, sorry. My other phone I just pressed. All right, let's continue learning more about. He makes a lot of sense, right? The purpose of life.
They say, our Lord, our sustainer, not for any vain, foolish, random purpose have you created all of this.
Exactly. Remember how I said earlier when I started the live stream? God is just, He's most merciful, and He didn't create this in vain. There's a reason, a purpose for why He created us. Yes, and Islam has the answer to that. The purpose of life, the fact that we are here, human beings on planet Earth, that we were born and we were tiny little fetus, embryos growing inside the placenta, our mother's womb, and we came out as little infants, and we grew up as little toddlers, as teenagers and adults. The purpose of this existence is to worship God. But worship doesn't just mean you pray and you do different rituals. Worship encompasses different other things, okay? When you are kind to someone, you are worshiping. When you are raising your children the right way, you are worshiping God, because God is telling you to do all those things. When you worship God, you obey God, you listen to His instructions, okay? So worship is not just prayer, supplication, it's also everything else. Being kind, being generous, being compassionate, forgiving, merciful, all these attributes that comes from God ultimately, and you also practice them, you emulate them as a human being, a decent person with a good character, great personality, you are in fact, worshiping your Lord without even knowing it. You are. When you are, for example, dealing in business transactions and you are being an honest person, truthful person, a good business person, you are actually worshiping God.
So save us from the chastisement of the fire.
Amen. Amen.
Dear brothers and sisters and guests,
I was just checking to make sure we're still live.
this verse of the Quran, these verses, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the creator of the heavens and the earth, God Almighty, has mentioned very clearly to us by first drawing our attention to the creation of ourselves. That's first.
Thank you so much for being here. So the topic is The Purpose of Life by the great scholar Khalid Yasin, who has helped me better understand my own faith, my religion, Islam, which is not just a religion. It is more than a religion. It's the whole. I had to put my AC. I don't feel like getting up right now. Yes, so religion is one word, but it's a way of life, a system, encompasses all aspects, spiritually, economically, financially, emotionally, mentally, all aspects of life, because Islam teaches you how to be a human being and how to live a good life, a great life here, and to be content with the decree, the plan of God, your creator, your maker, your fashioner, the one who designed all this, who gave you this life, and who's asking you to spend a few minutes, a few moments with him, to remember him, to acknowledge him, to thank him, and to beg of him, to ask him anything that you need to continue living your best life here. You're on a journey. It's like going from one station to the next on a bus ride, train ride, helicopter, or plane ride. You do some escale, we say in French, some stop, and then you get back on, and then you have your final destination, which is when you have that great meeting with your Lord, your Creator, on the day of judgment, and you get to see Him, you get to hear Him, and He gets to reward you and give you your recompense for all the hardships you went through, the struggles, and how you were patient, you were resilient, and you continue putting all your trust in Him, knowing that He never makes mistakes and He is not unjust to His creation. You and myself, He has created us, and He wants to give us the best paradise, Jannah. And yes, this is like you are sitting in front of a piece of paper, and this is your test, this is your exam, you're in an examination, and you have to do your best so you can pass with flying colors. So you go through ups and downs, different challenges, you go through headaches, heartbreaks, and people trying to sabotage you, people trying to destroy your life and ruin your reputation, your image, people trying to smear campaign you, meaning have other people also dislike you and hate you and say bad things about you, lie about you, slander you, bring defamation against you. All these are tests. And once you put that in your mind, in your head, you have this different perspective and outlook on life, and you realize my life is amazing. I have it good. I'm not complaining. God is merciful. God is all good. He's the all seeing, all knowing, all hearing, and everything that happens for a reason. And He's not unaware of what's going on in your life. Okay. Once you have this realization, you are going to live in peace in your head, and you are going to go through these different challenges in life with a positive attitude. Yes. Yes. And remember to always operate on a high frequency, high vibration. Only try to bring good thoughts in your mind, inside and out. Okay. So it's karma. What you sow, you will reap. And you try to surround yourself with positive people, people that want to see you happy, win, successful, people that bring the best out of you. Okay. And when you surround yourself with this type of people, your life is going to be even better every single day that comes by. And reduce the amount of time that you spend with negative, toxic people, people that have low self-esteem, that have no confidence, they're always seeing bad, they're always negative. Remove yourself. You remember your time is precious. You don't have to get in every single conversation that you hear or that you overhear. There's people that do not deserve your time. They don't need you to be in their life whatsoever. And there's no reason to give them a closure. Your absence, you just ignore them. That is their closure right there. They will understand. Trust me. People know, especially people that mistreat you and that abuse you verbally, emotionally. They know what they did to you of wrong. So start treating them the same way they treat you and just walk away and let them be. Okay. One day, all this will pass, and then you realize your life here on planet Earth is so much better after that. But right now, you have this life to live it to the fullest. That's what I say. Love yourself fully. I'm always here reminding you, and you need to glow, you need to shine, you need to rise. I always say, love yourself first. Love yourself first. And then you can pour out all that love that you have, give it to other people. But love yourself first. You come first.
the different postures of the human body. And because he's the creator and his throne exists over the heavens and the earth, he comes from his throne down, meaning in terms of knowledge, befitting his person. So he first speaks about the creation of the heavens and the earth, something that man cannot
comprehend. Yeah.
Then he says, the alternation of the night and the day, as it appears to us. Then he speaks about the posture of the human being, standing. You know, we're different when we're standing.
Yes.
Our mind is even different. We have a different demeanor when we're standing.
Correct.
Then he says, while they are sitting, and we have a different demeanor when we're sitting. Psychologists will tell you the human being has different postures according to the posture of the body.
Exactly. So true.
So when you're standing, you can be arrogant. When you're standing, you can make proclamations. When you're sitting, usually you're receiving, you're listening, you're a little more humble. When you're lying down on your side, either you're sick or you're weak or you're about to sleep.
Oh, just resting.
These are the postures of the human psychology. Look how beautiful the verse is. تتفكرون في خلق السماوات والأرض. The wise people who fear God, they are thinking of him in all these postures, in all conditions. And they say, oh God, surely, not for any vain or random or foolish purpose have you created all of this.
Yeah.
Save me from myself.
Amen.
Save me from my vanity. Save me from my foolishness. Save me from my rebellion. Save me from my disbelief. Save me from the chastisement of the fire.
Yes. Amen.
Dear brothers and sisters, certainly there's a creator.
Yes.
And certainly that creator deserves to be acknowledged. And certainly that creator deserves to be obeyed. And definitely that creator has no associates or comparisons. For instance, we have to ask ourselves a further question. When you see a bridge, a building, an automobile, you automatically consider the person or the company that designed it. Exactly. You would never think, when you look at these new cars, this new technology, you would never think that it created itself or it just happened.
Just like the phone. Somebody designed it, made it, manufactured it. So this whole universe is the same thing, this planet. Someone greater than it manufactured it, created it, made it, fashioned it. God is the architect. Somebody sneezed, my neighbor. The walls are so thin.
Happen to be there. Let's take something a little more. If you were walking out in the outback, that's what you call it here, isn't it? If you were walking in the outback.
He's in Australia. This was years ago, this lecture.
Outback, we call it the desert in America. And you saw a watch, a very expensive watch, maybe like the watch that I'm wearing here, like not expensive, but intricate, a world time, 3 or 4 different alarms on it. If you saw a watch laying down on the ground, would you think to yourself that it was always there? No, you would think someone left it there because you know that it is not part of the natural landscape. Exactly. It's not part of that environment. Exactly. It has been designed by someone and lost by someone, wouldn't you?
Yes, makes sense.
This is just a watch. It's not really that intricate. It's not like the human eye. It's not like the sun. It's not like the earth with its different ecosystems. It's not like that. So how could you think that this watch had a designer, but this universe doesn't have a designer? Exactly. It just came about.
No. Use your thinking, your intellect. Of course, this universe, this planet didn't just pop out of nowhere, didn't just come about. God created it. Somebody put it there. Even the Earth, if you study how the Earth, where it is compared to other planets, compared to the sun, you can tell that somebody super intelligent placed it exactly there. And no, we didn't come from monkeys, from apes. God created animals and he created human beings. And the first is Adam, without a mother, without a father. And from Adam and Eve, all of us came about. And she had, I think, 80 pregnancies, if I remember, or 100. Yes, our first mother, Eve, Hawa, she had almost 80 different pregnancies, and she would have twins, 2 sets of twins. So she would have 4 babies in her stomach, I think, at one point. 4 would be quadruplets, so twins, 2 sets of twins, and then they will marry each other like that, like girl and boy in pregnancy A and boy and girl in pregnancy B. So pregnancy B, the boy will marry the girl from pregnancy A, and the boy from pregnancy A will marry girl from pregnancy B. And this is how little by little human population started multiplying. So at the beginning, yes, it was incest, obviously. It's the same parents, Adam and Eve, sisters and brothers. And then slowly, and now no more incest is acceptable by God because we have millions of people. So you go and find your own partner. But this is how we started, with just those two, Adam and Eve. And they were black, dark skin color. And we all come from black people. Even the white people now, the Asian, not so light-skinned people, they all come from two that were black.
When you see a nuclear plant, an orbiting space station, and by the way, unfortunately, the orbiting space station that you can look up at the sky and see, it might be there and it might fall out of orbit anytime. Because America and the Soviet Union, they don't have the money. They have the money to fight a war, but they don't have the money to support the space program.
You see, this was over 15 years ago, this lecture, and that's the same truth today, 2026. America still have a lot of dinero, a lot of money for fighting other countries, for starting wars, funding right, the left party, but they don't have enough for their own citizens, for taxpayers, for getting rid of homelessness and unemployment issues, crises, education system in shambles, the political area going down, as we are witnessing it every single day with these corrupt politicians, these wicked, evil people, child predators. The government is filled with them, as you can see, and you're reading and you're learning and listening from the Epstein files and the survivors. And have you heard, I think it was today or yesterday, that in this country, there's a few states that have completely refused to eliminate child marriage. Yes. Americans are for child marriage. Look it up. And freaking believable. America has voted to keep child marriage as legal. Check it out. And then they go and tell about other people's cultures, how horrible they are. But look at what they did.
Any longer.
Insane.
So the $56 billion that has been spent on the space station, maybe it's over with. When you see a nuclear plant or an orbiting space station, a super international airport, you have to be thoroughly impressed with the engineering dynamics that are involved. Yet, these are...
Yeah, I like to check my email at night because sometimes I got important email, and if I don't check them out, I may miss something very important. All right, nothing important. Okay, good.
Just things that are manufactured by human beings. Then what about the human body?
Thank you for being here, by the way.
With its massive and intricate control systems, Think about it.
Think
about the brain.
What I love about Islam, my religion, is that God is always asking us, human beings, to think, to ponder, to reflect, to use our common sense, our brain, our intellect that He has given us, our gray cells, always asking us to question, to investigate, to study, to read. Even the very first thing that was revealed when the Quran came down, stage by stage, was read, as in get educated, read. This is my book, by the way. I wrote my story in it. This is me right here. And my story starts on page 83. Yes, God is asking us to use our intelligence to gain knowledge, to apply what we know, what we have learned. And I love teaching, I love learning. And that's why I named my channel Learn with Nia. As I'm learning, you are learning, I'm educating you, I'm helping you understand this life, the purpose of life. I'm always posting different links to current affairs, different stories, true stories, things that are happening all around the world, people that need to be on the spotlight, people that need to be remembered, things that you need to know, topics and different subjects, because I want you to be educated, to be empowered, and I want to inspire you. So you are not just being gullible and listening and obeying and just doing whatever someone else tells you just because. You understand? Even the person has a lot of money or is a famous person, you don't have to listen to anybody. Okay, use your intellect and think for yourself and question everything, even what I'm saying to you. Write it down, rewatch it, listen to it again, and then go and do your own study, your own investigation, your own homework, and find out if it's the truth and the facts. But as I am a truth seeker, I've been for many, many years, I'm always searching and studying, and I'm usually posting things that truly are important for you. That's why I put them on the community tab for you to research, for you to watch and listen and learn. And remember that I love you, and this is why I'm doing these videos, and I'm trying to always help you in any shape or form. I'm trying to help you. I love being of service. I love helping. Okay? Okay, let's continue listening. I'm looking at the time because was it? It's almost 11. I'm going to go to bed. My phone, because I don't have the phone holder. Keep falling. I'm on my computer here in the living room, but I'm going to bed in about an hour. Yeah, I'm a night owl, so I don't go to bed early. But yeah, midnight I'm going to bed, and I don't see anybody posting comments. So if you do the replay, thank you so much. This is The Purpose of Life with Khalid Yasin. He's an African American man who used to be Christian, and I think he was part of the Nation of Islam at one point years ago, and then he became Muslim. And he traveled throughout the globe. He goes to different countries, just inviting people to think and to study about Islam, the Quran.
How it thinks, how it functions, how it analyzes, how it stores information, retrieves information, distinguishes light and categorizes information in a millionth of a second. And how it does that constantly.
The brain.
Think about the brain for a moment.
The brain that God gave us.
Think about those mobile phones for a moment.
Computer, the best sophisticated computer.
I would ask you to be courteous enough to cut your mobile phone off.
Cut your cell phone off.
Your wife, if she's not here, she won't mind. Your husband, if he's not here,
I don't have any.
He won't mind.
So my husband won't mind.
Your office,
I don't have a husband.
They won't mind. So just cut it off or put it on another mode.
Vibrate.
That's courtesy.
Silent, yeah. Be respectful. When someone is talking to you, pay them attention and focus on them and what they're saying, and listen, and then answer, and then reply, and then respond. A lot of people I've noticed, they don't listen. They automatically answer you, and they haven't even really comprehended what you have said. And this is the cause of being addicted to these devices. We have become a society that is addicted to this, unfortunately. We have lost the art of communication, interacting with one another. It's so sad. I'm a 70s baby. I remember when we used to be outdoors almost all day until nighttime, when we used to talk to people, we used to just interact and network and mingle with one another.
Now we're talking about the brain that made the automobile, the rocket ships, the boats, and so on. Think about the brain and who made that. Think about the heart, how it pumps throughout the body, throughout the life of the person. The heart pumps continuously.
Yeah.
I mean, it starts.
And you don't even think about those things. Your organs inside your body, they function perfectly well. Who made that possible? God is making that possible every moment that you are still alive. Things that we don't even think about, how hair be growing, our nails be growing, how we even when we little kids and we with our parents, we are growing, you know. First we are 2 feet tall, 3 feet tall, 4 feet tall, 5 feet tall, and next thing you know, we're taller than our own parents, and you don't even think about this. It's crazy, mind blowing.
At the inception, when the child is inside the womb, the heart is already pumping. And from that time until death, this heart is pumping.
Pumping.
Without the will of the person whose chest it is in.
And we don't even think about it. Yeah.
The heart.
Our heart. Amazing.
Taking in and discharging blood throughout the body and maintaining that steady precision throughout the life of that person. Think about it. Think about the kidneys. What kind of function do they carry?
See how people, especially here in America, so many of them are suffering with kidney failure, heart disease, heart attack, stroke. #1 cause of death in America. Stress is the cause of so many people having heart attacks. Insane.
The purifying instrument of the body that performs hundreds of chemical analyses simultaneously and controls the level of toxicity in the body. And it does this automatically. Think about your eyes, the human camera that adjusts, focus, interrupts, evaluates, applies color automatically, the natural reception.
When the last time you thanked God for your eyesight or your hearing? When the last time you wrote down how grateful you are for everything that you have, for this body that you have that's working and functioning, that you are able to go outside and walk and run and talk and get dressed by yourself. I'm a caregiver here in New York, and I take care of elderly people. Some of them I have to do everything to help them get ready from morning all the way to the evening. Some of them I have to clean their diapers, and some of them I have to shower. Some of them I have to feed like a little baby with a spoon in their mouth, help them cut the food on their plate, test the food to make sure it's not too hot before giving them. And you don't think that one day you're going to become old and you're going to have to also be in diapers. Somebody going to have to help you walk to the bathroom. Somebody going to dress you, help you get dressed. All the things we don't think about it. That's why I say always keep counting your blessings. Keep counting your blessings. Take care of your health, physical health, mental health. You have dementia, Alzheimer, all type of things. Then you have leukemia, different cancer, skin cancer. Then you have STDs. Then you have mental health, mental issues, PTSD, people that are going through all these diseases. And you are what you eat, so be very careful. So the thing that you put inside your temple, what you eat. A lot of people are sick because of what they have allow themselves to eat, to consume too much sugar, too much salt, too much alcohol, too much greasy stuff, junk food. I was about to say funk food, junk food, processed, ultra processed, chemically engineered food. Oh my Lord. Yeah, that's our life. You have to be careful. Take care of yourself. That's what I meant to say. Take care.
An adjustment to light and distance, automatic. Think about it. Who created that? Who designed the eye? With all the technology, there's no replacement for the human eye. Even they have not been able to create a robot that is able to mimic the blink of the eye. If they made a robot to blink and imitate the blink of the human eye, it would throw the robot out of sync because he couldn't keep the synchronization going like the eye does. Just something simple like that.
Yeah.
Who created that? Who mastered that? Who planned that? And who regulates that? Human beings themselves?
No.
What's your answer?
No.
Of course not.
Of course not.
What about this universe? Think about this. The Earth is one planet in our solar system, and our solar system is one of the systems in the Milky Way. The example I gave you previously. Who created that? Who designed that? Who maintains that perpetually until it continues to expand? And according to one scientific theory, what is it? That the universe is expanding as we are living.
Oh, yeah,
and one day it will expand.
This is something that we learn as Muslims, thanks to the Quran, that the universe is expanding. And back then, at the time when the universe, nobody knew about it, and people did not have microscopes, telescopes, these fancy equipments. Someone in Arabia in the 7th century told his companions, his people, Bedouin Arabs that didn't know how to read or write, that the universe is expanding. How did he know that? How did he know that scientific miracle fact? He just didn't know it. It's God that told him through Angel Gabriel when he was receiving the verses of the Quran that came down from heaven within a 23-year period.
Until it will implode. Implode means it will explode from the inside, yeah. Not from the outside, but cave in.
Yes.
Now, this is a theory. We don't know, but we do know it is expanding.
Yes.
Yet, for all intents and purposes, it's not affecting the organization that we see.
All right, this is in 3 parts. It's called The Purpose of Life. I'm not going to continue playing it. I will leave the link though, so you can, if you want, watch all 3 parts. Amazing. Khalid Yasin, The Purpose of Life, teaches you about the creation of the universe, about Adam and Eve, how we came about, what God did, and why we are here on planet Earth. So if you want to watch the 3 parts. I had written something in my notes. Oh God, sorry. Okay, I think I charged it enough. My phone is fully charged now. Okay, perfect. Let me put my glasses on. I hope you still have a good eyesight. And you can come to my age, 52 years old, you need glasses. Actually, I made an appointment actually. They gave me June 11th and the 12th. I have to go back to the eye doctor. No, sorry, June, we are May, right? June 11th, she gave me the appointment to go see the eye doctor. And for dental, she gave me June 12th. All right, let me read from my notes. The expansion of the universe. The Quran states, and the heavens, we, God, we constructed it with strength, and indeed we are expanding it. That's Quran chapter 51, verse 47. Many believers connect this verse to the modern scientific discovery that the universe is expanding. This reflects the idea behind Hubble's law, where galaxies move farther apart over time. And that is a scientific fact in the Quran. Number two, why I believe that the Quran is the word of God, verbatim, meaning directly from God, nobody else. Human embryonic development. The Quran describes stages of development in the womb, meaning inside the mother's body, in her belly, the placenta. God, we created man from an extract of clay. Then we placed man as a drop in a firm lodging. Then we made the drop into a clinging substance. That's Quran chapter 23, verse 12 to verse 14. The stages mentioned include nutfa, a drop, you mean like the sperm, alaqa, clinging substance, and the mudgha, chewed like lump. And you see on the telescope when you look inside the mother's stomach, the placenta, that's how embryo look like. But nobody knew that. No human being knew that except God, who created the human being, who created the placenta, who created the fetus, who created the embryo. And he gave that knowledge to Gabriel, Angel Gabriel, who gave that knowledge to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He didn't know how to read, he didn't know how to write, and God just gave him all these knowledge, information over 23 years, and he just repeated it, he recited it, and his companion who knew how to write, they wrote it down for people to memorize, to recite, and that became as a book, a Quran, the Quran. Number three, mountains as pegs. Yes, the mountains are as pegs. That's Quran chapter 78, verse 7. Modern geology shows mountains can have deep roots, like how it is, they have roots beneath the earth's crust, similar to pegs or stabilizers. Number four, why I believe the Quran is from God, directly from God and from nobody else. The barrier between the two seas. He, God, releases the two seas, the ocean, the seas, meeting side by side. Between them is a barrier. They do not transgress, they don't cross. That's chapter 55 of the Quran, verse 19 to verse 20. Oceanographers observe that bodies of water with different salinities, meaning salt, status, density, and temperature, can meet while they maintain their distinct characteristics. Number five, why I believe that the Quran is the word of God and God authored the Quran. The iron was sent down. And we, God, we send down the iron where there is great power and benefits for mankind. That's chapter 57, iron, verse 25. Scientists believe iron on Earth originated from supernova explosions in space before arriving on Earth through meteorites. Amazing. Number six, why I believe that the Quran is from God and God alone, the protective atmosphere. And we, God, we made the sky a protected ceiling. That's Quran chapter 21, verse 32. Earth's atmosphere protects life by filtering harmful radiation and burning up meteors before impact. Number seven, why I believe that the Quran is the word of God, that it talks about the DNA, our fingerprints. Fingerprints are unique. Yes, we, God, we are able to put together in perfect order even men or women fingerprints, fingertips. Quran 75, verse 4. Fingerprints are now known to be unique for every single human being and are used for identification purposes worldwide. And the Quran told us that more than 1400 years ago, talk about DNA, fingerprints. Nobody knew that. Definitely not the Arabs back then in the 7th century. So that's why we Muslims say that Quran is only from God. There's no way it could be from any other human being. Number 8, the water cycle. The Quran repeatedly describes evaporation, cloud formation, rainfall, and flowing rivers. Example include in the Quran, chapter 30, verse 48, and Quran, chapter 39, verse 21. Modern science confirm all these things that are in the Quran, as well as the continuous water cycle of the earth. Yes. Number 9, why a reason I believe that the Quran is from God alone, the darkness in the deep oceans. Yes. Quran chapter 24, verse 40 mentions something about that. Darkness within an unfathomable sea, which is covered by waves, above which are waves. Yes, deep ocean science did confirm what the Quran says. Extreme darkness, internal waves beneath the surface of the water, and layers ocean systems. Number 10, why I believe and say that the Quran is from God alone, that everything that He created is in pairs. And of everything we God have created pairs. Quran chapter 51, verse 49. Yes, we believe that. Male and female biology, complementary systems, and even paired structures in nature and also in physics. And the Quran tells us about this. And one more reason why I believe that the Quran is from God and God alone. It's reason number 11, the origin of life from water. Yeah, God told us in the Quran chapter 21 in verse 30 that God, we made from water every living being, living things. And modern biology, guess what? They confirm that too, that water is essential for all form of life. Yes, that's my son. So let me see from my notes. According to Islam, the purpose of life is to know God, to worship God, to obey God, the one creator, the God of Adam, the creator of Adam and Eve. And the purpose of life is to live in a way that reflects justice, mercy, gratitude, and righteousness. Muslims believe that human beings were not created by accident or without purpose, without meaning. The Quran teaches that life is a test, and every person is accountable for how they lived, how they treated others, and responded to the guidance sent by God through his different prophets. Worshipping one God alone. The central message of Islam is called Tawheed, the belief that there is only one God, one creator, worthy to be worshipped. We don't believe in Trinity, we don't believe in 100 different gods, we believe in only one God. And the Quran says, and I, God, did not create jinns and mankind except to obey me, to worship me, and to follow my instructions. That's Quran chapter 51, verse 56. In Islam, worship is not limited to pray only. Worship includes pray, helping people, earning honestly, caring for your family, taking care of your children, giving charity, speaking the truth, living morally for the sake of God. And a sincere life lived according to God's guidance, that is the best act of worship. So when you're a good neighbor, you are worshiping God. When you're a good husband, you are worshiping God. When you're a good wife, you are worshiping God. You understand what I'm saying? Following the prophets, Muslims believe that God sent prophets throughout history with the same core message, one same universal message, like I said earlier. Worship one God and one God alone. Do not worship idols, people, the creation. Live righteously to the best of your ability and also to prepare for the afterlife. Yes, when we die, we get resurrected, and then we have to be accountable for everything that we said and what we did while we were here on planet Earth. And if you wronged a person, if you lied about someone, guess what? God is waiting for you in the hereafter about that. Islam teaches that prophets include Adam, Noah, Abraham, Moses, Jesus Christ, and the final messenger, Prophet Muhammad. Even though some people say no, he was not a prophet, he was an evil, wicked man, is still the truth and fact that he was the final messenger of God, and he came as a mercy for all of mankind, a mercy for all human. May they be white, black, yellow, orange, purple, it doesn't matter. He is the mercy that was sent by God. Muslim believes that Prophet Muhammad was the last and final messenger sent to humanity. The mission of Prophet Muhammad, according to Islamic teaching, Prophet Muhammad came to restore pure monotheism, because even at that time the Arabs, they were how you call it, they were pagans. They worshiped different gods. There's another word I was thinking, infidels. Yeah, they were infidels, the Arabs, before Islam came. So the mission of the prophet was to call people away from idol worship, to let them break and destroy all the statues, to teach them about morality, to stop burying and killing their infant daughters, to stop abusing women, and to guide people to the worship of the one creator, and to remember that one day we shall be resurrected and returned back to him. Yes, back then, before Islam came to Arabia, men were very abusive to their women. They were barbaric. They were savages. But when Islam came to Arabia, Islam, as in the Quran, started being revealed. That's when they started being reformed and changing their ways and realizing what they were doing was wrong. A mercy to the world. Quran chapter 21, verse 107. Okay, the teaching of the last messenger emphasized on compassion. He was the most compassionate. On honesty, he was the most honest person. Truthfulness, he was the most truthful people. Even his enemies, they did not listen or believe in Islam, in Allah, in the Quran. They still respected him, and they even would let him keep their properties to safeguard as safe in his house. That's how much they respected that man, even though they did not believe in Islam. Okay, so he came to teach us to be patient, to be forgiving, to care for the poor, for the orphan, to have justice for all people. And he was an orphan himself. He never knew his father, and his mother passed away when he was 6 years old. So he ended up being raised by his grandfather, his maternal grandfather, and then his uncle. So life is a test, like I said earlier. Yes, Islam teaches that this life that we live here is temporary. It's temporary. The Quran explained that wealth, power, fame, beauty, status, all of these things are temporary. And they also your test. Even you are born and you look beautiful, that's your test. You are born and maybe you are from a rich family, that is your test. Or you are born poor, that is also your test. What are you going to do about it? What is your attitude? What is how you are going to react to whatever happening in your life? What matters most is your faith, your sincerity, and your good deeds. Okay? Your intention, Nia in Arabic. Muslim believe every person will stand before God on the day of judgment. And I think that's very fair and it's very just. And we will all be accountable for our beliefs, our actions, our intentions, and how we treated others, and how we treated our own selves too. The goal, success in this life and the next. The ultimate goal in Islam is to earn the pleasure and mercy of God, to live a meaningful, righteous life, and to attain eternal peace in paradise. Islam, meaning submission to God, when you obey God, that is going to encourage the balance, spiritual growth, family life, work, learning, community life, and also self-discipline. There's tons and tons of teachings on how to be an amazing human being, how to grow and build confidence, and how to be a disciplined, focused person. The teachings aim to help people live with purpose, with dignity, and awareness of God. It's all about that relationship with your Creator. Yes, that's what Islam teaches. Jesus in Islam, yes, a lot of people don't know that, but Islam honors Jesus, respects Jesus Christ. And that was not his name. His real name is Isa, but not Jesus. They changed his name over the centuries. Islam honors Jesus Christ as one of the greatest prophets sent by God. Muslims believe that Jesus was born miraculously to the Virgin Mary. Hey, hi! Thank you so much for being here. Thank you. Demure Noble de Bourg. Hi! Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for being here. I'm just going through my notes. The live stream is almost over. I've been talking a little bit about the purpose of life according to Islam, and we were listening to this amazing scholar called Khalid Yasin. If you have any question, now is the time. Thank you. Muslims believe that Jesus was born miraculously to the Virgin Mary. Muslims believe that Jesus performed miracles by God's permission. And Muslims believe that Jesus called people to worship one God and one Creator. However, Islam also teaches that Jesus is not God himself, not God in the flesh, but he is a servant of God, a messenger of God, and that he just said be, and Jesus was inside Mary. And the Quran repeatedly emphasizes that God is one, He's eternal, He never dies, He wasn't born, He doesn't begot, He was not begotten, He has no partners, He has no friends, no helpers. He is nothing, nothing like what He has created. He is the creator, we are the creation. That's it. So we are all His servants, His slaves. So I'm a Amatullah, and if he's a man, he's a Abdullah. Amatullah means a servant of God, female. Abdullah in Arabic means a servant or slave of God. So we are all servants of God, whether we are obedient ones or disobedient ones, but we are all servants of God. So this message is beautifully summarized in chapter 112 of the Quran, and it's known as Surah Ikhlas, purity. Say, He is God, one, God Allah, the eternal refuge. He neither begets, nor was He born. He was not begotten. And begotten is the act that is an animal act. We beget, we procreate, we have children. God doesn't have children. And there is none comparable to him. That's what God tells us. He said that about himself. You see, God explained who he is in the Quran, which is his last revelation and final. He sent the Torah before, and it started getting changed. Some verses deleted. So then he sent the gospel to Jesus, and that too started being corrupted by people. Some verses changed, some verses added. So after a few hundred years, he finally sent the Quran, and that one he preserved it. Nobody is allowed to touch it, to change the wordings, even one letter, nothing. He is preserving that books, and that book hasn't changed. The same way you have a Quran in Russia, it's the same Quran in France, in Costa Rica, in Dominican Republic, in China, in Egypt, in Morocco. Here in America, it's the same Quran. Like they say, there's different versions of the Bible. There's only one version of the Quran. It's the same. It hasn't been changed since day one, more than 1400 years ago. That's what we Muslims, we say and we believe because God told us so. All right, so in summary, Islam teaches the purpose of life is to worship and to know God, to thank him, to ask him anything we want, to follow his guidance, to live morally, and to be compassionate and to be forgiving, and also to prepare for the eternal life that is going to come, because it's true, it's coming. There's a life that's coming after here, and we're all going to live it. First, we're going to die. I hope I die in my bed, in peace, at peace. Maybe my children be there, but I want to die in my home. I don't want to die of a car accident or drowning or in a fire outside my home. I want to die peacefully, and I hope I die as a Muslim, someone who submit to God. And I hope that people watch this live stream and realize that, oh, there's a lot of things that she makes sense. I should listen to the Quran recitation in Arabic. I should read the Quran in the English, if English is my language, or in Italian or in Spanish, because it's in different languages. as translation, of course, of the meaning. But the Quran is only one in Arabic, the same Quran that was revealed through angel Gabriel. Yes, we do believe in angels. Gabriel, Michael, Israfil, Israel. And one of them will have the trumpet waiting to blow the trumpet. When God said, blow the trumpet, he will do it.
Who designed that? Who controls that? Is it man himself? Of course not. Man just stumbled on the theory yesterday.
That is Khalid Yasin talking. He's an amazing scholar. He has studied Islam. He used to be Christian, so he knows a lot about Christianity and the teaching of the doctrine of Trinity. And we Muslims, we love Jesus even more when you really think about it, because we believe in his miracle birth. We say that he's a Messiah, and we say that he was a prophet. And there's verses in the Bible that confirm that he was a prophet of Nazareth. And we believe that he's still alive, that God saved him on that cross. We do believe that he was put on the cross, but for some reason, he was not crucified. He did not die. He was meant to look as if that happened to him. Hey, Juana, I'm going to make you my mod, my beautiful, beautiful Juana. How are you? I'm going to put you as my mod, and welcome, welcome. Yes, you are my mod. Good evening. How are you, my love? That's one of my new mods. Juana, I made you my mod. Thank you for being here. I saw your text, your message earlier on Patreon. Thank you. I'm not always there, but I was taking a nap and then I started scrolling down and I saw that you said hi. Love you. Thank you so much for being here. I'm here just explaining my faith, Islam, and helping people to better understand the purpose of life and why human beings are here. So for us, how we say it as Muslims is that God created his throne over the water. He created the pen, and the pen talked. And God said to the pen, write down. And the pen said, what do I write down? And God said, write down whatever's going to happen from now all the way to the last day, to the day of judgment. You're very welcome, my dear. Yes, I'm so happy you're here. You came here. I love you too, sister. Are you making more of your videos about cooking? We want to see more. I'm going to start also making my videos. Just been super tired with work, with my long shift, but it's changing. Next week, I'm doing less hours. I'm starting with a brand new patient, and it's going to be near my house. So I'm super excited about that. So yes, I'm going to be able to do more videos for you guys here, my family on YouTube. So yes, Juana, I'm explaining our belief. Okay. Oh, yes, you stopped posting. I haven't seen any notification lately of your channel. So in Islam, we believe that, okay, first there was nothing but only God, only the creator. Let's call him Elohim or Allah, right? It was only him. And then he created his throne, which is the biggest of his creations. Or everything that God has created, the biggest is his throne. And he has a stool because he's a king, right? Do you see how, for example, you have let's see. You have a ring, right? If I throw that ring, let's say I'm in the Sahara Desert and I throw this in the Sahara Desert right now. That is what God's tool is compared to the throne. The throne would be the Sahara Desert. Can you imagine? The stool of God is the ring, that ring. So that's how humongous, giant, how huge it is. We can't even comprehend, right? So first it was God, then he was all by himself. Then he created his throne. Then he put his throne over the water. Then he created the pen, and he told the pen to write. You see how we hear the radio speaking and we hear the television speaking? We don't know, but the pen spoke, okay? And the pen said to God, what shall I write? What do I write? And God told the pen, write whatever's going to happen from now all the way to the day of judgment, to the last day. Yes, thank you, sister. Juana, sister, so glad I'm catching your live now, teaching us about God. Yes, my faith, my religious belief is that there was one creator, and then he created souls, us. He created demons, the jinns. First, it was the demons. The angels were also first, before us humans. Then he created Adam. First, it was clay. It was like a statue. There was no soul yet. Adam couldn't talk, couldn't see. And how that happened, God sent angel Gabriel to planet Earth, down to planet Earth to fetch different part of the earth, some soil, ground, dirt. From there, we don't know how, God with his hand fashioned Adam. So it became a statue. Like, when you're a sculptor, you mold a statue. And that statue was set aside in heaven. So that's our father, Adam. Juana say, I love this. So positive for our soul. Yes, very beautiful, beautiful, true story. So first Adam, our father, was created just a statue. And then over time, God flew the soul inside Adam. Achoo! That's what Adam did. And he said, Alhamdulillah. That's the first thing. He sneezed when the soul went inside his body and he became alive. And he said, all praise be to God, right after sneezing. Alhamdulillah. And then God taught Adam everything, the name of everything. Like he's sitting down and God is teaching him, like he's in classroom and God is his teacher, telling Adam, this is a glass, this is a book, this is a computer, this is a chair, this is a table, this is any animal's name, this is how he's teaching Adam everything. So Adam knows everything. Yes, we Muslims also believe in Angel Gabriel. Yes, so Gabriel is the chief of all angels. He's the one that's always sent by God to the messengers, to the prophet, to someone that God chose as the guide for their people. So he started with Adam. Adam was the first prophet. Then there was a series of other prophets. And in the Quran, we know that Moses also was chosen by God. Jesus was chosen by God. Jacob, Isaac, Lot, Jonas, Joseph, different ones, right? Always men, no woman prophets. I mean, if a woman tells you she's a prophet in her own understanding of her mind, whatever she wants, but that God did not choose a woman. He only chose male as prophet. So when God created Adam and he became alive, and he was not a baby, he was a full adult, super tall, beautiful, and he was by himself with the angels in heaven. And after a while, long period of time, he felt lonely. And one day he took a nap and he woke up, and next to him, a beautiful lady. Guess who? Eve. One of my sisters is called Awa, Eve. My mom called her Eve. But in the scripture, in the Quran, we call her Hawa. She's our mother. And they were all dark. Oh yes, so earlier I mentioned that Angel Gabriel go on earth and go grab some few patches of dirt, so that become clay that God uses to make Adam. So Adam was dark-skinned person, and out of his rib, he created his wife, his mate, our first mother, Eve. And then from them, they started having babies, and she had a lot of pregnancies, and they lived many, many years. Okay, they came down on earth. It was always the plan that one day we'll go back to God, but first we are here on planet Earth. So the long story short, while they were in heaven, they were tricked by the devil. We call him Iblis, okay, in Islam. The beautiful Eve was then created. Yes, Juana, definitely. She was created to be his mate, his partner, and they were to be husband and wife and to live in harmony with each other and love and mercy. And they had babies. But what happened? the devil tricked them. God said to Adam and Eve, you can go everywhere you want. This is heaven. Enjoy. This is paradise. Jannah, you have the right to touch everything except this particular tree. You're not allowed. Don't go near it. And over a period of time, maybe 100 years, God knows, maybe 500 years, maybe 1,000 years later, little by little, Iblis, aka the devil, started talking, whispering, little by little. You know how the enemy will trick you and make you do things, make you say things, and you are not supposed to. So that's what happened. The devil tricked them. Yes, Juana, the devil tricked our parents, Adam and Eve. So one day they ate from the tree, the forbidden tree that they were not supposed to. The Bible teaching said that it was an apple tree. We don't know what type, but they ate from the tree. That's what Islam says. So when they ate from the tree, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, they realized their mistake, of course, and they see that they are naked. So they're running towards other tree leaves to cover their nakedness. That's how they see themselves all of a sudden. And then they realize their mistake and they cry and they beg God to forgive them. And guess what? In Islam, God is most merciful, Ar-Rahman, Ar-Rahim, and He did forgive them. Yes, that's what Islam says. God forgave Adam and Eve. Elohim forgave Adam and Eve. They repented. They were sincere. They made a mistake. They realized because Adam was naive, innocent, not naive, innocent, and he got tricked by the devil. So now God says, well, the devil was arrogant and he blamed God for misleading him, misguiding him into making Adam and Eve eat from the tree. So he went and started his whole speech like, oh, you, God, you're the one that made me go astray, because the devil was very righteous. He was a servant of God. He obeyed God. He obeyed Allah, Elohim. He used to worship every day the devil. Yes, he was even among the angels. That's how righteous the devil was. That's why a lot of people say he's the how you call it, fallen angel, but he was never an angel. He is a creation called jinn, which what we translate in English a devil or a demon, right? Then you have angels and you have human beings. Okay, let me stop my computer. Okay, now it's better. Now you won't hear my computer. Yes, so the devil is a creation called jinn. And then we have us, the human beings, and then you have angels. The angels, they never disobey God. It's like, you know how you program a robot to always do whatever you tell them to do. That's what angels are. They always obey. They don't have freedom of choice of either obeying or not listening to God. They always do what God tells them to do. That is the angels. Then you have the jinns, and then you have human beings. Juana says, yes, God forgave Adam and Eve for their sin from eating from the tree they shouldn't have eaten from. Yes, exactly. Yes. Somebody came here. Codification can tell a God-fearing woman on sight. Okay, the devil is also called jinn. Yes, actually, he's welcome codification to the live stream. The devil is a creation called jinn. We are a creation called human being. So that the devil is a jinn. Yes, yes. And then Gabriel, Michael, Israel, they are angels. Yes. So God, God gave respite. He gave a time for the devil, because the devil, when he made Adam and Eve eat from the forbidden tree, he started blaming God for misleading him. You know, that's what narcissistic people do. They always blame other people except to take responsibilities for their own actions and their choices, correct? So then God told, the devil asked God, please, because God said, now you are accursed, you are not going to be in paradise, you are going to be down and you're going to be in hell forever because that's where you belong because you didn't obey me. Because God asked, once he created Adam, he asked the devil, I'm sorry, he asked everyone that was there in that room, and it was countless ranks of angels. He said, bow down to Adam, but not bow down as in worship to Adam, bow down as in respect, right? Out of respect to the creation that I just made, human being, Adam. And everyone, as soon as God said bow down, they bow down. They acquiesced, meaning they just obeyed. They did it. Except one, and that was the devil, Shaitan. That's how he became Shaitan. He became Satan, Shaitan, Satan, the accursed. And he became our enemy, number one, because God told everyone to bow down to Adam, the human being, and everybody did it except the devil because he was proud, he was arrogant, he was envious of Adam. He didn't want Adam to be in high ranking, you know. So God said, because you have disobeyed, I ask you simple thing and you didn't do it, now you're going to end up in hellfire. And that's why everyone that does whatever Satan does and that follow in the footsteps of Satan, they will be in hellfire. That's what Islam teaches. All right. So now the story, how we ended up here. After a while, God said to Adam and Eve, I'm going to send you down to Earth, planet Earth. But before planet Earth had another creation here, and they were probably the genes. They used to live here, and they used to do a lot of bad things, spread corruption, and shed blood. And that's why even when God said to the angel that he's going to create a new creation called mankind, Adam and Eve, and his descendant, even the angel were perplexed and super shocked and so surprised. Why would you create another creation where we are here and we're praising you every day? And you're creating something that's going to shed blood. So that is the reason that we know from that speech from the angel that questioning, he was not, they were not questioning God because you don't have a creation called angel that obey God, all of a sudden questioning God. They were just surprised at because they're so innocent, they didn't understand. You know, it's like a little kid asking you a question, why this, why that, you know? And you're teaching because your child is innocent and doesn't know certain things. So this is how we end up here on planet Earth. God tells Adam and Eve, go down to planet Earth. You're going to live on planet Earth for a little while, and then you're going to come back to me, and then I'm going to judge you on the day of judgment and then give you either paradise or hell. And that's how we end up being born out of our mother's womb. And to this day, there's still babies being born until the day of judgment. And then we die, we be in our grave, or we be cremated. It doesn't matter. We are going one day to all be back in a different form, but we're going to come back. I'm going to be in front of God for judgment day. Yeah, that's what Islam teaches. And along the way, to obey the last revelation of God, which is the Quran, because the other books were corrupted. Torah, Gospel, people have added stuff, deleted stuff. So God sent down the one that nobody's going to be changing, which is the Quran. That's what our teaching says, our belief. It's so good to learn, especially God's words. Yes, Juana. I learned since I was about 21. I started learning about Islam, even though I was born in a Muslim family, but we never sat down. My parents, except my mom, who taught me how to recite the Quran in Arabic and how to pray, we never sat down having, you know how some people have Bible study on a Wednesday night or Saturday or Sunday or Tuesday. We never had that in my house. All we had was my mom teaching us how to, well, teaching me, I speak for myself, teaching me how to recite some chapters of the Quran so I know how to pray 5 times a day. Yes. But then I moved to England. I lived by myself and I started studying about Bible. I studied Islam, and that's how I decided that I wanted to become a Muslim. Hold on one second. I'm going to blow my nose. Hold on 1 second, okay? I'm going to blow my nose. Thank you so much for being here, guys. It's almost midnight. It's 11:30, so I will stop the live stream soon so I can go get some sleep. What does she say? Juana. Yes, people have added and taken away things from the Bible. Yes, I started doing my studies and found out a lot of things. Even Christian scholars, they have noticed that and have admitted it. I have to get a copy of the Quran. I can give you a copy if you want. Let's see. I have one right now here. I have one here. This is the one that I will definitely give you. It's very easy to understand. It's called the Clear Quran. I can give it to you if you want. I had some. I used to distribute the Quran. I had some in Spanish, in English, in French. Hold on, let me see. I like to go on. Let me go on ChatGPT. You're very welcome, my love. I love gifting people stuff. Let's see. Give me 5 verses that are contradictory in the Bible. I'm asking ChatGPT. I like using her. All right. Example. Did Judas die by hanging or by falling? According to Matthew, he went away and hanged himself. Matthew 27, verse 5. But when you go to Acts 1, verse 18, falling headlong, Judas burst open in the middle and all his bowel gushed out. Ugh. That means he fell down and his body burst open. So we don't know which one is it. Did he hang himself? Did he murder himself? Or did he fall down, had an accident? So that's what the Bible contradiction here regarding this. Okay, another contradiction. How many animals were taken onto Noah's ark? According to Genesis 7, verse 2, in book Genesis, take with you 7 pairs of every clean animal and 1 pair of the animals that are not clean. But then Genesis 6, verse 19 says, 2 of every sort shall come into you. Oh, you have your Bible? Good. Okay. Can humans see God or not? God cannot be seen. That's Bible, John 1, verse 18. No one has ever seen God. So that when I used to read the Bible, I was about to say when I used to recite the Bible. When I used to read the Bible and study it, because I wanted to make my decision, should I be Christian? Should I follow Christianity? Should I be a Muslim? Even though I was born into a Muslim family, but in Islam, according to Islam, you choose to be a Muslim if you want to or not. There's no forcing somebody to be Muslim. So when I left my parents to live on my own in England when I was 19, 20, I chose to read the Bible and to read the Quran and to compare the two and found which one I wanted to follow. And then I decided. But when I saw that no one has ever seen God, and then you cannot see my face, for man shall not see me and live, meaning if you see God, you're going to end up dying. So these two contradictory verses, and a lot of people have seen Jesus while he was alive on earth, walking in Jerusalem, Nazareth, Bethlehem, in Palestine. So he cannot be God, right? Because clearly no one has ever seen God, and a lot of people have seen Jesus. All right. Is salvation by faith alone or by works as well? Romans 3, verse 28 says, a person is justified by faith apart from works of the law. But when you read James 2, verse 24, it says, a person is justified by works and not by faith alone. So which one is it? Another contradiction. Who carried the cross? Jesus when he was on the cross. So according to John 19, verse 17, he carried his own cross. But then when you go to Mark 15, verse 21, they forced a man named Simon of Cyrene to carry the cross. So we don't know which one. Maybe people say, well, that, Jesus started carrying his own cross and then Simon was forced to help him. Maybe. We don't know. Juana says Genesis chapter 3 starts with the fall of man. Genesis. Let me see. Genesis chapter 3. Okay, let's see what ChatGPT says. Book of Genesis chapter 3 overview. Genesis chapter 3. Juana just mentioned it. Genesis chapter 3 is one of the most important chapters in the Bible. It describes the story of Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden and explains how sin entered the world according to the biblical narrative. Yeah, the difference is in Islam, we don't believe that we're born in sin or we're born with sin already on our record. We're born sinless. A brand new baby has not done anything wrong, has not sinned. That's what we Muslims say and we believe. Like, I have 4 children. I gave birth 4 times. My eldest is 24. My youngest is 13. None of them, when they came out of my, no, I want to see my stomach. When they came out of my vagina, none of them had committed any sin. None of them had committed any crime. They came out pure. That's what we Muslims believe. All right, let's read what Genesis 3 says. Main events in Genesis 3. The serpent tempts Eve. The chapter begins with the serpent questioning God's command. Did God actually say, you shall not eat of any tree in the garden? The serpent tells Eve that eating from the forbidden tree will not cause death, but will make them like God, knowing good and evil. Many Christians interpret the serpent as Satan. Yes, our belief in this particular incident is that you see how they say that the serpent tempts Eve. The Bible teaching says that it was the woman, the female, that did the wrong thing, right? And the blame is on the woman. In Islam, it's both of them, Adam and his wife, both of them, they sinned. That's the difference in that particular topic. Eve and Adam eat the fruit. Eve eats from the tree and gives some to Adam. She took off its fruits and ate, and she also gave some to her husband who was with her, and he ate. This act is commonly called the fall in Christian theology. Yeah, both of them sinned. Very good, Juana, she said. They realize their nakedness. After eating, they become aware of the nakedness and sew fig leaves together. So you see, it's very similar to in Islam also. They ate from the tree, forbidden tree, and they realize all of a sudden they see that they're naked. So they grab some leaf to cover themselves. God questions them. God asks Adam and Eve what happened. Adam blames Eve. You see, in Islam, Adam doesn't blame. He's the real man and he takes full responsibility. He doesn't blame his wife. The woman whom you gave to me to be with me, she gave me fruit of the tree. Eve blames the serpent. The serpent deceived me. That's what the Bible teaches. Very similar. Yeah, that's why I always say to people when we have discussion on religion, I say, instead of fighting over the differences, why don't we come together and think about all the things that we share in common that are very similar? And then we start from there. Okay, after that, punishments are given to the serpent, cursed to crawl, hostility between serpent and humanity. Okay, and to Eve, the pain of childbirth, struggle in relationships. Wow, that's the punishment that Eve gets for for being the one that started it all. And then to Adam, difficult labor and hardship, death. For dust you are, and to dust you shall return. Well, in Islam, death is inevitable, it's part of this cycle. You live, you die. But death was created first because first we didn't exist. So that's death, right? We were dead. And then we came to life. So death and life. And that's why the Quran says, I created, it is He who created death and life to test you. So we've been tested even when we're dead in our grave. The last test, the three questions that we shall be asked. Yes, Juana says yes, death is inevitable. Big shout out to you, Juana, one of my mods, my new mods here. Adam and Eve, according to Bible, leave the garden. God expels them from the garden of Eve and places cherubim to guard the way to the tree of life. Why Genesis 3 is important. That's what ChatGPT says. For many Christians, it explains the origin of sin and suffering. It forms the basis of the doctrine of original sin. It sets the stage for salvation theology centered around Jesus Christ. For Muslims, Adam and his wife made a mistake, but they repented and were forgiven by God, Allah. Islam does not teach inherited original sin. Every person is born innocent and accountable for their own actions, own deeds. The Quran discusses this story in several passages. Chapter 2, chapter Araf, chapter Taha. No soul bears the burden of another. That's Quran chapter 6, verse 164. All right, Chat GPT, let me ask you a question. Why does the Quran, okay, no, different question. What does I'm going to ask a question because I know a lot of people wonder. What does the Quran teach about women rights? Please be detailed and very specific. Oh, I am asking ChatGPT. Thank you, Juana, for listening. We're learning. Okay, what ChatGPT? I asked ChatGPT a very clear question. I say, ChatGPT, what does the Quran teach about women rights? Please be detailed and very specific. Women rights in Islam, according to the Quran. The Quran introduced rights for women in the 7th century Arabia that were revolutionary for their time back then, 1400 years ago, and remain central to Islamic teachings today. The Quran teaches that men and women are spiritually equal before God, while also describing some different responsibilities in family and social life. In interpretations and cultural practices vary widely across Muslim societies, so it is important to distinguish what the Quran explicitly teaches, what comes from later interpretations or legal traditions, and what may be cultural customs rather than Islamic requirements. Yeah, like, for example, forced marriages, that's cultural, that has nothing to do with Islam. Islam forbids forced marriage, and Islam is the very first religion that came and say no child marriage. Spiritual equality before God. The Quran repeatedly teaches that women and men are equal in human worth and accountability before God. Yes, Juana, legal traditions. One of the clearest verses is in Surah, which means chapter, Al-Ahzab, chapter 33, verse 35. Indeed, the Muslim man, the Muslim woman, the believing man, and the believing woman, God has prepared for them forgiveness and a great reward. You see, nobody can say Islam is against women. It's right there in the Quran, chapter 33, verse 35. When you receive your Quran, Juana, you can read that. Chapter 33, verse 35 talks about how women also will have great reward from God. The Quran does not teach that women are spiritually inferior or excluded from salvation. That's cultures. That's people that are not following Islam correctly. And some Arabs are like that, where they think women are low class citizens. And you have that in Southeast Asia countries where they look at women, they look down on women. Just like here in America, where you have domestic abuse, domestic violence, where they look down on women, where they hate women. So it has nothing to do with the religion. It has to do with the individuals, with the person themselves, and with some cultures. The right to own property and wealth. Yes. The Quran gave women independent financial rights. Women before Islam in Arabia, they were often treated like property. Yes, Juana, looking down on women. We see it in Western society, meaning in here, in America, in Europe, especially here in America. Every single day, there's a story of a man killed his wife, a man killed his girlfriend, a man insane beat her. Women before Islam were often treated as property and could not inherit wealth. But once Islam came to Arabia and the Quran was being revealed by God through Angel Gabriel to the Prophet, it was said, take care of women, protect women, honor women, and don't be abusive. Yes. And even women, we have our own chapter in the Quran called the Woman, chapter 4. Yes, in the Quran. For men is a share of what the parents and close relative leave, meaning of inheritance when the parents' father die. And for women is also a share. So you see, it's right there in the Quran, chapter 4, verse 7. So where do people get that idea that Islam is abusive to women, oppressive women to women? No. It's the cultures, it's certain people that call themselves Muslims, that they mistreat women, and now all of a sudden the whole entire religion is bad for women. No. People need to be truthful and not have these bias statement and claims. Islam teaches woman may own her own business. She can also inherit property. She keeps her personal income, meaning whatever she makes, her husband has no right to it, not even one penny. That's what Islam says. And the husband is responsible 100% for her financially. Food, shelter, clothing, education, cosmetic, everything. She can buy, she can sell properties without the advice of a man. And she's not even required to give her husband $5. She doesn't have to give her one penny. Juana says, yeah, plenty of stories of husbands unaliving their wives and wives unaliving their husband. Is there a shame, sister? Yes. Society is going mad. And the Epstein files, we still want them all revealed. All these wicked, evil predators. The right to education, the pursuit of knowledge is strongly encouraged in Islam for both men and women. Juana. Reveal the Epstein files now. No, I'm laughing, but it's not the laughter. It's not. Years later, I was listening to one of them this afternoon. Insane. 9 years old, 10 years old, 11 years old. Seeking knowledge is obligatory upon every Muslim. Historically, Muslim women became scholars, teachers, jurists, narrators, physicians, business leaders. Even the Prophet, the first wife that he married, she was a businesswoman. She was an entrepreneur and she was older than him. Yes, he was like 25, she was 40 years old, and he accepted her proposal. She's the one that even proposed. Yes, she said she's interested. Yeah. Girl power. Back then, 7th century Arabia. Yes, he married a wealthy, rich woman, and she was her wealth helped him at the beginning before he started having also wealth. She was the breadwinner. Yes, the first Muslim. Yes, she was the very first Muslim because they were all infidels, Arabs, pagans, and when Islam came as the Quran, she accepted, and a few of his relatives, and little by little, they started inviting people to Islam. Some accepted, some rejected, but that's how he started. And over 23 years, the Quran came coming down, verses after verses, and then it was compiled. After he passed away, people kept reciting it verbally, and they wrote it down. He didn't know how to write or read. Society, Juana says society is going mad, and that's why I am a loner and I live alone. I don't even have company unless it is scheduled. Exactly. She was the very first Muslim. Yes. She was the very first Muslim, a woman. Yes. And if it wasn't for us women, I used to wear the hijab, covering my hair, my neck and ears when you go outside, If it wasn't for us, nobody would know, Islam, because when you see outside and you see the women how they covered, then you say, "Oh, assalamu alaikum, you're Muslim." Mainly when you see a woman fully covered head to toe, you're going to assume that she's a Muslim. So she's really representing the religion. So power to woman, I say. You see, God chose the woman to represent this beautiful religion and way of life. Isn't that amazing? I'm telling you, once you study it, you're going to be mind blown by all the rights that women have. We can choose who we want to marry. We can choose to divorce if we are being abused. We choose to run a business or two if we want to. We don't have to work if we don't want to. And we need more women to come forward and explain all that, because a lot of people, they will spread misinformation, misconceptions, and lies and say, "Oh, Islam is from the devil," or "the Quran is from the devil. We don't want Islam. We don't want Sharia law." Don't you know that Sharia law has been on planet Earth since the first day, since Adam and Eve came here? Sharia law is simply the law of God, nature. When you take somebody to prison for a crime they committed, you actually practicing Sharia law. People are so stupid. They just repeat. It's like they parrot. Instead of doing the investigation and finding out the truth, whatever they hear, yeah, that's it. This is it. Insane. Insanity, I tell you, sister. People be spreading so much misinformation. It's stupidity. How you just listen whatever someone say and you just repeat it? Insane. Insane. Sharia no is not going anywhere. Islam is not going anywhere because they don't even know what Islam means. It's an Arabic word and it means submit to God. Where are you going to take submission to God? Where are you going to take it to? It's not going anywhere. Just obeying God. That's what Islam means. That's the Arabic word. And when you translate it, it means to obey God. It's like ridiculous. These people don't even think. They don't even think. The son submit to God. The son is Muslim because the word Muslim is Arabic and it means something that submit to God. Where are you going to take Islam to? Islam is going nowhere anytime soon. I tell you, Juana. Marriage rights. The Quran teaches that marriage should involve mutual kindness, dignity, and consent. That's why I say when you are a Muslim woman and you are being abused, it's your right to get out of that abusive relationship. You staying there, you are saying, first of all, to your abuser that you're okay, you're fine with the abuse, and also you are disobeying God because God didn't tell you to stay in an abusive marriage. And among his signs is that he created for you spouses and placed between you affection and mercy. So where there's no affection, there's no mercy, then that means there's abuse, and then you get out. That's it. God is telling you right there. Quran chapter 30, verse 21. Rights women have in marriage include the right to consent to marriage. She has the right to say no. Her father may say, "Listen, I have the next door neighbor. He's a good guy. I want you to marry him." If she meets him and she doesn't feel like she wants to marry him, she can say no. The right to receive a marriage gift as part of the marriage contract in Islam. Muslim woman, a woman, even she can be Christian, she can marry a Muslim man, she can be a Jewish woman, and she has the right to marry a Muslim man. She is entitled to receive a marriage gift. Yes, affection and mercy. That's exactly why God has made marriage between us. Otherwise, if there's no affection, no harmony, no mercy, then there's no reason to get married. The right to financial support, this is a right for a woman in Islam. The right to respectful treatment and the right to seek divorce under certain circumstances. Forced marriage is regarded by Islamic scholars as invalid and is forbidden, actually, haram. The right to divorce. The Quran regulates divorce and gives women legal protections. Yes, it's everything for the welfare of the woman. When you really study Islam, Juana, you're going to realize that it's everything for the welfare, well-being of the woman, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, physically. Women in Islam, they can ask divorce, annulment, separation. The Quran also instructs fair treatment during separation, even during separation. Yeah, let's say, for example, you're a married woman and you divorcing, you have a period of time where you have to wait for your period, so you wait 3 months. And let's say, for example, you're pregnant. Well, you separated until the divorce is final. The husband is still obligated to provide for you. Just like how you go to court here in America and you do spousal support, it's the same. Do not forget graciousness between yourselves. That's the Quran, verse 237, chapter 2. You see, God is always for protecting women, protecting from abuse and harm. The Quran emphasizes justice and condemns oppression. That's from ChatGPT. The best of you are those who are best to their wives. Muhammad that said that, the prophet of Islam. Many Muslim scholars argue that abuse and cruelty contradict Islamic ethics and prophetic example. Yes, it definitely contradicts it. And the prophet never was abusive. He never beat any woman, any of his wife. He wasn't cruel. He wasn't mean. So all the things that you read that said that he was an evil person, that he killed this person, he murdered women and children, that's false. That is lies. And if you believe it without doing your own research and reading from the authentic books, then you just lied on one of the prophets of God. Juana said, that's why I'm celibate and by myself. These men can be crazy, wanting money from us. You have to pay them just to get some emotions from them, and I am not doing that no more. Exactly, Juana. I remember I was married to someone, and for 3 long years, I would give him money, and I would go to work, go to school, and I help him. I let him move into my apartment and be with my kids here in New York City. And I knew it was wrong. I had this part of myself that was saying, "But you stupid. He's a grown man. He's healthy. Let him go out and work. Why are you giving him your hard-earned money?" But yeah, when you're stupid and too kind, naive, that's what happened. I learned the hard way. Yes, I also learned the hard way. Juana, trust me. I was with him for 5 years, and after that, I'm like, no, yeah. Be kind, but don't be stupid also. Yeah. Modesty and dress. We almost finished because I have to go get some sleep. The Quran instructs both men and women to practice modesty. Yeah, it's not just women that are supposed to wear hijab. Hijab is Arabic and it means covering. So we're supposed to go outside and looking honorable people, modest. Many Muslim women wear the hijab as an expression of faith and identity, while interpretations and practices differ around the world. Even in the year 1900, for example, women were dressed completely from head to toe, and a lot of Christians, Jewish ladies, they were covered, even their hair, they covered it. Yes, Juana, she say, I am done being stupid. Yeah, we don't do stupid anymore. This is 2026. We set clear boundaries and we don't allow anybody to disrespect us, to abuse us, and to take us for a fool, play us for a fool, and take us as a doormat. We show them how to treat us. Yeah. I'd rather stay single and celibate. I'm the same, single, celibate by myself. And I feel good. I'm at peace. I say, All right, women in society and public life. The Quran does not forbid women from working, from owning businesses, from participating in society, from speaking publicly, from contributing intellectually and politically. Yes, there's a lot of Muslim women in political places in certain Muslim countries. Women presidents, yeah, in Muslim countries. And here in America, they tell you Islam oppresses women. Muslim countries have women in politics. Yes, Muslim countries have women leaders, entrepreneurs, business owners, and they're outside. They're doctors, they're teachers, they're architects. They do all type of thing, engineers, Muslim, all covered, looking great, feeling amazing, happy, content, satisfied with their lives. They don't live in America, they live in their own country and they're happy there. Throughout history, women have served as scholars, rulers, traders, poets, educators, community leaders in Islam. Motherhood and family honor. The Quran places great emphasis on honoring mothers. Yes. Be grateful to me and to your parents. That's God talking to mankind. God in the Quran, chapter 31, verse 14. God tells you, be grateful to me and to your parents. Can you imagine God telling you, be grateful to me and also be grateful to your parents? And look how many children, adult kids, disrespecting their parents, beating them, abusing them, spitting on them, hitting them, cursing at them. But guess what? Judgment Day is waiting for these people. A famous narration says when Muhammad was asked who deserved the best companionship, he answered, your mother, your mother, your mother. And then he said, your father. 3 times he said, your mother. That's telling you how much we emphasize that women are up here when it comes to honoring them, respecting them, giving them the utmost respect. Areas of debate and criticism. There are also verses and traditional rulings that critics and reform debates. Inheritance, share, testimony law, leadership roles, polygyny, which now people say polygamy, but it's really the proper correct word is polygyny. It means a man having multiple wives, and there's nothing wrong about that. Listen, hear me out. Because God says it's okay. That's why I say it's okay. A man can have 1, 2, 3, 4 wives as long as he's equal just with all of them. If he cannot, then only one. It's in my culture. You know, I'm from Africa. Western African men, they love women. They like to have 1, 2, 3, 4. But in Islam, just like in Christianity and in Judaism, men had multiple wives, and there's a reason for it. Because men are the leaders, the head of the household, the kings, and they could take care of multiple wives, multiple women. Exactly, Juana. Yes, Abraham had how many wives? Abraham, almost all the prophets of God, except Jesus, who never got married, they all had more than one. Yes, Juana, she says kids are unaliving their parents. Yeah, they take their parents to court, they sue them, they disrespect them, they abuse them. It's this new society, it's these new generations of human beings that are so arrogant and so wicked and they're so entitled. They feel like they're better than everybody else and you just shut up and they can do and say whatever they want. But I say one day, one day, trust me, you're gonna regret it and you're gonna wish you had treated your parents better. I mean, that's for the parents that were good parents. I'm not talking about the parents that were abusive, and because that is a different, totally different topic. This new society is horrible. Yes, Juana, horrible. Except for a few that are good mannered, they're respectful. Many of them nowadays they are criminal, delinquents, and up to no good. Like waste of life. Waste of life. All right. That's it. Thank you, ChatGPT. Let's see if I can talk to ChatGPT. The other day I was talking to her. Let's see. Allow. Hey ChatGPT, how are you? Hey ChatGPT, how are you? She's not talking. Oh, it's on my other phone. Let's see. Can you talk, ChatGPT? Can you hear me? It's on my other phone. This one is not working. So you can next time I will let you hear her voice. All right. Thank you so much. I'm going to bed. Yes. This society, we have to pray for some of the parents that are going through so much with these people, these adult kids. I know it's time to end the live stream soon, and I had an extremely good time learning with you. Oh, thank you. I appreciate you, Juana. Thank you for being here. Now you're my new mode, so you're welcome to come back anytime when I'm on live here. Thank you so much. Remember, keep counting your blessings. Go out there and be a blessing to someone else. And whoever was here in the chat, even if you were not present, you didn't engage, I appreciate you just for stopping by, for showing up, okay? Thank you so much. This is Nia. Remember, Learn with Nia show. We're here to elevate, level up, inspire one another, empower each other. And I'm here to help women build self-confidence, rise and regain their power. And because I am a survivor of domestic abuse, of narcissistic abuse, I know a lot about this cancer, this pandemic, epidemic. We have to get rid of it. We have to eliminate this. We have to eradicate it. We have to help people, victims that are still stuck, that are still there in marriages and relationships. They don't know what to do. They don't know who to turn to. We need to speak up and say something. If you don't say anything, if you don't talk about it, it's never going to go away and nothing going to be done, nothing going to be changed. So we need to talk about it. Don't be shy, don't be ashamed. If you going through it right now, come to my channel and let's talk about it and let me help you find a way to get out so you can live your best life. Remember, you have the right to love yourself fully. You have the right to be with someone that loves you, that cherishes you, and that truly respects you. I love you. Thank you so much, Juana. Good night. Love you. Thank you. Juana says, okay, Nia, good night. Have a good night. Sleep. Thank you. I will. Bye. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. Radiate, rise, reclaim. Thank you so much. Au revoir. Bye. That's French for bye.